New verse. This is America. Don't fuck with us. If you do, we will massacre your people. We will wipe you out in numbers that will make Adolf Hitler smile. 600,000 Iraqis we've killed in 3 years. Why? 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 I'll tell you why. Don't ask me again. Because we have a war president. We have a war economy. We're warrior people. Americans love a fight. Ask Pat. And boy, it doesn't take much to provoke us. And once you do, a lot of your people are going to die. How many Iraqis are there altogether? We've killed 600,000 of them. 3,000 Americans have died. I'm not minimizing that number at all. It's terrible. It sucks. 3,000 to 600,000? I think it's one for every 500. Come on. We're winning the fight. You know, this is America. Don't fuck with us. You know, you think about 600,000 as a number. Well, that's a big number, you know, but we don't often think about it in terms of number of people that Americans have killed in some war that most of us don't even want to be in. Every one of those 600,000 people, that's roughly the population of Seattle, by the way, roughly. Every one of them had a family of some sort. Every one of them had a life. Every one of them had a goddamn right to be alive. And we killed them. None of those 600,000 had anything to do with the attack on the World Trade Center. None of them. None of them had access to weapons of mass destruction. None of them. None of them. We just killed them because they pissed us off. Their country pissed us off, so we're gonna massacre. We're doing a fucking good job. God damn it, I'm proud to be an American. People tell me that I've gotten angry living in the street for the last 2.5 years. Yeah, well, and then I should write. It's more of that love poetry that I used to write. Whatever happened to the happy-go-lucky chaos and order? Yeah. If you're so free, why are you so angry? Well, where shall we start, my friends? Shall we start with 600,000 Iraqis killed in the name of my country, the country that I grew up in, the country that I used to be proud of? 600,000. They didn't even do anything to us. We just want their fucking oil. And George Bush wants to have a big fucking heart on him because he's a little wimpy man with a bad case of dry drunk disorder. I'm telling you, maybe that's why I write angry poetry. You know, I'd like to write poetry about, sugar plum fairies and dancing reindeer that bring us little presents on the 25th of December every year. But you know what? I live in a world where my country has killed 600,000 people in a war that none of us want and none of us believe we should be fighting. Saddam Hussein is not Adolf Hitler. He's not Benito Mussolini. He's not the Generalissimo, whatever he was, Tojo. He's not Stalin. He's not Robert E. Lee. He's not King George of England. No, it's our King George that's the homicidal maniac now. No taxation without representation. That was one of the big things that we fought for when we took over this country and abdicated ourselves from British rule. How about no genocide without a good... Do we get that? No. We're too busy working 80 hours a week so that we can afford the mortgage payment on our overpriced house, and so that we can put gas in the SUV to drive the kids to Tacoma for soccer practice. Who's raising the kids, by the way? It's not mom. It's... Call me fucking sexist. Who's raising our kids? It's still the goddamn television that's raising our kids. The television doesn't do a very good job of raising children, folks. Okay? This country is fucked. Fucked. And you wonder why I'm mad? We're not even talking about the things that I see every day in Seattle, in my own life. We're not talking about people like my friend Ronnie, who's got about 60% of his brain left from tumors and surgery, and has walked in the same fucking circle around downtown Ballard every day for the last 30 years. He smells like piss. He pisses himself because he's sick. Ronnie didn't make it to a Social Security meeting that he was supposed to be at in January. He hasn't gotten a check since then. He hasn't gotten a dime. You know, I'm not talking about the fact that a beef stick costs $2.99 at one place, and the same goddamn beef stick costs $8 across the street. That's capitalism, folks. That's capitalism out of control. Where's Richard Nixon when we need it? Wage and price controls. Maybe a raise in the minimum wage? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I saw a chart today that made me want to vomit. It was about the increases in the New York Stock Exchange, how long it took it to go from 100 to 200, and from blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah. And how can you look at that chart and not understand that it's the rich that are getting all the fucking money in this country? When the price of stocks goes up and up and up and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, do you think the working man is getting any of that? No. The stockholders are getting it. And the people who hold the stock are the people that had the money to buy it in the first place. And that's not the working man. No. It's the rich. It's the rich getting richer. It's the rich getting richer. It's the rich stomping on the working man, and it's about to go boom. So the working man's not going to take too much more of this. The housing market is going to collapse. And that's going to be the final countdown. Because it's what's holding this house of cards up. We got a war economy. Yeah, we got a war economy that's fueled by hyperinflation and the cost of a place to fucking live. Houses that sold for $20,000 30 years ago in Ballard are selling for $750,000 now. 750,000. 40,000 to 750,000. What's wrong with this picture? Well, somebody's getting rich. And there's a lot of money going in. No, I don't know economics that well. I'm just a regular guy, but man, I can see what's wrong. I know that when I was growing up in the 60s, my dad never worked more than 40 hours a week. My mom didn't work. She stayed home and raised 3 children. My dad never made more than $15,000 in a year. He owned his house. We always had a couple of cars. They were never brand new. We took vacations every summer. Yeah. Stuck the kids in the back seat of the Ford. Rolled up the windows and lit cigarettes, Mom and Dad did. And we drove hell-bent for leather on I-90 as far as Brainerd, Minnesota. We saw Mount Rushmore. We saw the Black Hills of Wyoming. We saw the Badlands. We saw Grand Coulee Dam, one of the great wonders built by Americans that had learned how to harness the power of the Columbia River and irrigate eastern Washington. So instead of a desert, it could be a place where people could live and grow crops, sustain themselves. Yeah, we saw Grand Coulee Dam. We saw Mount Rushmore, like I said. We got within, maybe a half a mile of Mount Rushmore. Try to do that now. We have Homeland Insecurity up your butt so fast you wouldn't even know what hit it. We saw, numerous other things that were distinctly American. American. It doesn't exist anymore. My America does not exist. And not here. Not there. Not anywhere, folks. It's gone. And you people don't even believe it. You tell me that America was never the protector of freedom. That JFK wasn't revered around the world for stopping the Red Menace. Well, that's fucking bullshit. JFK stared Khrushchev down, and Castro didn't blink, and Khrushchev blinked. That's when we won, right there. Missiles of October. Get those fucking missiles out of Cuba, or we are gonna blockade that island, and then we're coming after you, you lousy fucking commies. And guess what? They blinked. They took their shit out of there, because they knew America was right. We knew America was right, and we were fucking proud of it. We were proud to be American. We were proud of our flag. We were proud to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you even know the Pledge of Allegiance? My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died. Land of the Pilgrims fought. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Not to the flag, not to a fucking piece of paper, but to an ideal, to a way of life, and of us.